Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 13th. I'm Elizabeth Hasselbeck. New this morning, the White House admits it's about to break another promise on Obamacare. This as members of Congress gather on Capitol Hill for a probe into what the administration knew and when.
Meanwhile, the healthcare debacle proving disastrous for the president's approval rating. This morning, he hits a new low, and some of his fellow Democrats looks like they are abandoning ship.
All right, have you ever rearranged your furniture and found a couple of coins laying around? Well, this guy found $100,000 plus. How did the money get into his house? And more importantly, what did he do when he found it? That man joins us live with the decision he made. It'll astound you and amaze you. Fox and Friends, as far as we know, starts now.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
Mike.
Favorite day.
Happier than a camel on hump day.
Well, it is Wednesday, so we know that for sure now.
That's right.
And we also know that it's going to be a big day for the president because he's going to have finally his tech guru, the man that put together that wonderful site, healthcare.gov. He's going to be front and center in front of the Oversight Committee. They fought against his appearance because they did not want Todd to go out there when he could have been working on the website.
Right, they said he was too busy, had too many things to do, was working on fixing the website, didn't have time to go and testify and give any more information.
Wait a minute. You are on a first-name basis with the White House Chief Technology Officer, Todd Parks.
Right,
He's
Steve.
just Todd?
You know, we in the tech business are on a first-name basis because we know what each other's goes through.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that Todd...
It's Todd Park.
Todd may be saying later today, and that is, we made the promise that it would be all fixed by the end of November. Not going to be fixed by the end of November, according to the Washington Post. And if you listen to Valerie Jarrett yesterday at a New York Times event, listen for the part where she says, looking towards the end of the month to see substantial progress. She doesn't say it's going to be fixed. She said substantial progress. Listen to this.
We are seeing progress, and it's complicated, it's challenging, but the president has made it very, very clear that we're going to just keep grinding away at it until we get it right, and we are looking towards the end of the month to see substantial progress, and Jeff feels comfortable that we are on target for that. But it is a complicated challenge, but that's no excuse. We've got to get it right.
Well, she's referring to Jeff Zients, who actually came in to perform first aid on the Obamacare website and system.
CPR.
Exactly, in an emergency situation. And he actually said, okay, by end of November, things should be running smoothly for the majority of Americans. Well, maybe smooth as sandpaper, according to that latest quote by Valerie Jarrett. I mean, so much so that Democrats right now are really asking the president and his administration to take a hard look at what's going on as American people are being affected every day, millions losing their coverage, having premiums jacked up. President Bill Clinton actually said just recently that people are losing their insurance, and you've got to tell them the truth. You have to make good on your promise. Take a listen.
So I personally believe, even if it takes a change in the law, the president should honor the commitment the federal government made to those people and let them keep what they got.
But he can't keep changing the law. The president keeps changing the law that no one's supposed to change. So if the president goes ahead with what Bill Clinton said and says, all right, if you lost your plan, you can now get your plan back, who's telling the people that kicked him off the plan? He can't mandate that United or Aetna or any of these other companies welcome you back and sign you up because they responded to Obamacare. They made a business decision, which they're allowed to do. You can't mandate them not to make what they claim to be wise business decisions.
Well, it would be embarrassing for the President of the United States to have the former president, who he had referred to in the past as the Secretary of Explaining Stuff, explain that he's got to keep the promise because so many people are counting on it. Now, you might think, well, Bill Clinton's out there because his wife's going to run for president next time, and it's never too early to run away from Obamacare. Or you could think about this. Fred Upton in the House, his bill is going to pass the House later this week, probably, right, where people could keep their plan. And Bill Clinton wants people to know that Democrats want them to keep their plan as well. However you want to politically try to figure out what's going on, James Carville says the whole thing is just a joke.
The truth of the matter is that this rollout has been not just a disaster, it's been a joke, and people look at it and they say, he's not doing that. I don't think he's doing a very good job. To some extent, you can't blame some people for thinking that.
Well,
yeah, he's right.
Yeah, so you have a whole bunch of Democrats. Also, Senator Dick Durbin says they got to straighten it out. It's got to be right. You had Bill Clinton weigh in, Senator Mayor Landrieu weigh in. Senator Feinstein also wants to do something, keep your plan, that you want to keep your plan.
She's co-signing on a bill that would actually allow Americans, she hopes to get back into the plans, mandate that the insurance companies.
You were detailing a long list of Democrats who are saying you got to do something. Maybe the easier list would be name some Democrats who think it's working fine.
Right. There aren't any. They're running for the hills.
No.
Because the president doesn't think it's working fine. If you read Politico today, they seem to be giving him cover that he was on top of it, monthly meetings, weekly meetings, daily meetings, and all of a sudden he was shocked when it didn't fire up on October 1st.
Brian, you mentioned earlier that the president's having a hard time conveying his message, right? You alluded to that. Well, it's hard when the message continues to change, as you just said again.
Well, yeah, and the folks over at Quinnipiac, they've done another poll, and this is just simply not good news for the president. First, you had Bill Clinton taking him to the woodshed, and now this. Would you say that Barack Obama is honest and trustworthy or not? 44% of Americans say yes, he's trustworthy. 52%, a majority of Americans say no, he is not.
And his job approval rating's down to 39%, the lowest he's experienced so far. My problem is with this story, it's got to worry the administration. You can wheel back in David Plouffe and David Axelrod. The problem is the American people are not waiting for a 30-second ad or a great speech. They are at their kitchen table, looking at their health care plan, seeing how it affects them, getting the call from their grandparents, their parents, their kids, and wondering how it's going to affect them. And so far, it's been overwhelmingly negative. That's where the decision's being made. It's not being made at the voting booth right now.
Right, and right now it's not left to Republicans alone to get loud about it, as you say. And as you mentioned, Steve, before, the American people right now are feeling this. Their hearts are beating to the problem of Obamacare right now. And certainly Democrats as well have been speaking up and getting loud as they are facing possible elections coming up that might not work out for them if they continue to stand by Obamacare.
And unfortunately for the president, if you look over the last 60 years of the American presidency, generally when a president's poll numbers head south in his second term, they don't rebound. And that's bad news for the folks who work there at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Real quick on Facebook, I asked you, what do you think's behind Bill Clinton saying what he said yesterday and creating such a firestorm? And most everyone's weighing in and say he's beginning to create some room between Hillary and President Obama. Very insightful. That's what a lot of our viewers are saying.
Strategically.
Yes. Trying to create some distance.
A little strategery.
Yes, we will go back and talk more on Facebook shortly.
That's right. But for now, our strategy is to welcome Heather Nauert to the